Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Karen, and I am the founder and executive director of Empowering People with Invisible Chronic Illness Foundation, also known as the Epic Foundation. And look who's back with me, but none other than Darryl Brown, who sits on the executive board of directors for the Epic Foundation. And Darryl, I'm so happy to see you. It's been too long, and I'm a
Happy to see you
I
too.
really am. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling all right today.
Yeah.
Feeling all right. Feeling all right.
Okay. Yeah.
Optimistic about some stuff, and
Yeah.
so on our road to recovery, that's where we always need to mentally be. Always on the road to recovery. Never
Always.
stay stagnant.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. I also love that you said you're okay today, which is a great response because I have found that that is kind of a loaded question. When people ask you, at least for me, I've gone through this whole sort of journey of how do I answer the question, how are you doing? Because you find like varying kinds of people. You find the people who ask you how you're doing, they don't really care how you're doing. You find the people who ask you how you're doing and they just want one response, which is, I'm all right. Or you have the cliche responses, right? That it's okay to say I'm blessed by the best. It's okay to say, all of that. But sometimes we do have sort of these automatic responses, right? That are not always
Mhm.
reflective of where we truly are. So anyway,
Well, no, I think that's a good. That's good. I answer depending on who I'm talking to.
okay.
I don't let everybody in like that
Yes.
because one, I don't want sympathy. I don't
Hmm.
want pity.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody thinking, "Oh, I'm over exaggerating." Don't want that either.
Yeah.
If I'm having a day, I have very few people I tell that to,
Yeah.
and I that's one of my points I was going to make today. You have to be surrounded by the right people.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, but my how I feel in general, I'm gonna tell everybody I'm doing great.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, it's just in me. I try when we do these, I try to be as holistic as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because Scripture says, "This is the day the Lord has made, and I shall rejoice and be glad in it." I don't necessarily have bad days. I have disagreeable days,
Hmm.
but not a bad day. I know what bad days look like,
Hmm.
and they're no longer here. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
And so I have days where I don't necessarily agree with it, but I woke up.
Mm.
So as long as I'm awake, I always say, just wake me up and I can handle the rest of it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I don't, it all depends on who I'm talking to. Some people, I'm doing great and I keep it moving. Some people, really, I'm having a rough day today,
Mm. Hmm.
so it all depends. And then, and these people, I'm telling them I'm having a rough day, I can really share my heart with them
Hmm.
without them being judgmental.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You bring up a really great point because you're right. You can't totally open up to everyone.
Ooh.
And there are some people you will sort of give those rote responses to because you know that I mean, like they're not really interested in hearing anything other than I'm okay. Yeah.
And they may have been used to at one time I was all right all the time,
Yeah. Mhm.
and now I'm not. Oh, he's just complaining.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so my thing is, it's not always it is the response, but why you give the response you give.
Mm.
It's not if I ask for something. It's not the fact you told me no. My issue might be is why you told me no.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I don't. I used to share with everybody, and I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The topic that we're discussing today, which is, staying empowered in the midst of living with chronic illness, that what you said really means something, because the people you surround yourself with, as you spoke to, really contribute to that sense of empowerment.
Yes, I need people to allow me to be me,
Hmm.
not Reverend Brown.
Hmm.
I need to be me because when I'm Reverend Brown, I walk on water. Nothing bothers me. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I need to be around people who, again, they might see a tear.
Mm.
They might hear me vent.
Yeah.
And and when you hear me vent, I have friends of mine who just listen,
Yeah.
opposed to giving an answer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Yeah.
looking for it. I just need to get it out and we can move on for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But who I surround myself around is huge for my progression.
Absolutely.
I have a couple of friends of mine that will not let me complain. And I appreciate they always come in with crazy when I'm feeling sometimes the lowest. That's when it's two of them. They call me all the time, out of nowhere, and
Mm.
they lift my spirits, And then I have somebody who I can call if I'm having a day,
Yeah.
and I can cry, do all that kind of stuff. And the
Yeah.
one thing I always try to get people to understand is the people who you may depend on the most may not be the people who you thought it would be.
Mm.
Because the people who you thought would be there are the ones who usually are not there. But the
Mm.
ones who you would not think would be there would be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when that person who you thought was supposed to be there and they're not, don't be disappointed.
Right.
Just
Right.
have somebody.
Yeah.
But I think also too, if you have nobody around, that might actually speak to your character more.
Mm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
because this could make you be very, very um, mean,
Mm.
take you all out of character.
Yeah.
You wake up with an attitude and you don't know why.
Yeah.
And you lash out at the nearest person to you. That's why I really appreciate my wife.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, when you're done, let me know. I'll be back. Okay. Whatever you need to do, you
Right.
just do it. And so, I mean, but it's just you gotta in order for people to you gotta want people to be around you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not their fault that you're in a situation that you're in. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
They didn't do it,
Yeah.
you know? So
Yeah.
that's it. I'm gonna
That's
stop.
good stuff, though. That is so true. And if these are things that we don't necessarily talk about, I have theories as to why, but one of the reasons is because a lot of times when you are fighting for your life, and then in a lot of ways, people do look at you as walking on water. You've got everything together. They're not seeing the times that you're struggling. You and I think both you and I get that a lot. Um, it is just really hard to know who's gonna be your ride or dies, who's going to be there for you, right? And
Yeah.
we're so focused on managing things, navigating things, getting through things, that we're not really having these conversations about, like, if this person right here is like bringing you down, maybe you should not, as in terms of like support, people who are supposed to be supports to you and things like that. If you are faced with negativity every time you're around them, then perhaps you kind of scale it back a little bit and be more around people, you know.
I
Like,
also think though too, it's okay not to scale it back. It's okay to just disappear. Period.
ah, okay,
Period.
okay,
Because if all you're gonna do is bring gloom and doom into my world, it's
yeah,
gloomy enough.
yeah,
If that's all you're gonna bring, I don't need to be around you.
right.
There are people who I have literally walked away from.
Mm,
I have.
mm-hmm,
Yep. Because they didn't. They brought nothing. They brought nothing of value to me.
mm-hmm.
Again, like you said, this is a fight every single, even on quote unquote a good day,
Right.
it's still a fight.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
On a good day, okay, is it going to last? What's
Yeah,
going to happen next? When is this going to end? All of this is going on,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
so some people kick rocks. I'm just, and
Yeah,
you're not being mean, but you just, I need, I just need some peace.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I tell my clients oftentimes, many of them deal with chronic illness, and oftentimes they will use the word selfish. Like, am I being selfish because I'm taking care of myself? Am I being selfish for removing this person from my life? And I will say, the word selfish has a very negative connotation. I like to use the term self preserving. Self preserving. And is it okay for you to be self preserving? And the answer is absolutely yes.
100% it is.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, it is. 100%. Because if you can't do it for yourself, who's going to do it for you?
That's right.
You know, as I always tell people, the one thing that I've noticed, just as generations have gone by, people used to be really, really helpful to me, strangers,
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. But now, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I have often said, I have stuff going on the inside and the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere I go, it's not uncommon to get stares everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so people are aware of my situation,
Yeah.
but uh I lost my point, my thought. Get me back to where we were going.
It'll come back to you. It'll come back to you. If I start,
I got lost there. I got lost. And it'll come back to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think what I'm hearing is, there are a lot of aspects of what you deal with that are overt and people can see things, but there's a lot of things that they can't see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But self-preservation, that's what we're talking about.
Right.
Self-preservation. Um, but my point was, when I leave the house back in the day, I'm getting it back now. People were very helpful. Now
Yeah.
people are not so helpful anymore.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just that's the generation in which we live in. And so you have to learn how to self-preservate. You have to. Because again, that help may not be there.
Yep.
And then you might always feel like my niece is always telling me, even though she's dealing with some of her own stuff, she's like, you're not a burden.
Yep.
So you get to a point where you don't want to ask. And a lot of the times it's not because you don't want to ask. Sometimes it's the response you get
That's right.
that will make you in the future not want to ask anymore.
That's right.
Again, when I leave the house, I'm very, very aware of this. Folk out there could care less whether I'm crippled or not, handicapped or however, whatever phrase you want to use, you know. And so I've had to learn how to be self-sufficient.
Mm.
I'll tell anybody who has a illness, it is important to be as self-sufficient as possible,
Mm-hmm.
self-preserving. You have to be, because if you don't, it puts you in a mood,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start feeling sorry for yourself and all the other kind of stuff that comes into play. And so that's just how it is. Some stuff you just gotta. I have learned some stuff I just have to do without.
Mm-hmm.
Some stuff I just gotta do without, because again, because sometimes of the surroundings. Since I have not been able to drive, which is driving me crazy,
Yeah.
um, I kind of, I don't, and even with that, you don't want to uh, overburden other people,
Yeah.
and so I think in self-preservation, you have to learn how to figure out how to do things a little differently. That's all.
Right.
Yeah,
Adapt.
yeah, you have to. Adapting is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I wake up, I may do the same thing, but there are some days where I have to figure out how to do it differently because I'm not feeling like I did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But the the objective is to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So you just gotta find a different way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And a huge part of being self-preserving is taking care of self and knowing what that looks like. And that looks like that's different things for different people, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it's really, I mean, there have been times where I'm like, I just need to go in a corner and just breathe for 3 minutes. And it's like oftentimes our minds are racing so much and we got so much to do that you go back to that narrative. Oh, it's selfish to, all these things are going on. It's selfish to go off in the corner and breathe. That's not going to do nothing. No, that's not true. You are telling your psyche, you're telling your mind, I am important. I matter. Preserving self is important.
But also too, in that I know for me, I went through a period where what was the point?
Mm,
I have no value.
mm,
And I think in order be to be able to do the bottom line is, in order to self preserve, you got to know there's something that you need. You
yeah.
gotta have value for yourself. There's something that needs to be preserved. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because
Right.
if you think you're nothing but garbage based on your circumstances, because you're different than everybody, you got all this stuff, and you don't feel good about yourself, you're gonna neglect yourself.
Absolutely.
You're going to. It's like, again, well, what's the point? I'm gonna be sick anyway, and just go through all that stuff. But no, 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 no. I
Mm-hmm.
went through a period where earlier on, well into my 20s, I had no value for me.
Mm,
So there was really nothing to self preserve,
mm,
because what's the point?
yeah.
But now I feel, as I think I've said it before, I have a love affair with myself, and I'm not being arrogant either. You're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to love yourself.
Absolutely.
I love myself so much that I won't allow myself to be misused.
Mm,
I want to preserve, because I feel like if I'm here, I must be here for a reason.
that's right.
And in order to do what it is you're meant to do, you have to preserve yourself.
Yep.
Because if you, like you said, go into a corner, if you don't, you go in the corner, you never come out.
Mm,
You'll stay in the corner because
mm,
it's like, I have no value. So what's the point? The corner is where I'm supposed to be. No, it's not.
mm, mm, mm.
Nope. You got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, even though I may be different, I'm still special.
Ah, that's right.
You have to be able to do that.
I'm gonna have to write that down.
Yeah, you have
Look.
to. Yeah,
Mm,
because there were many times where I would pass the mirror and I'd be like, really? Oh, and then I'm thinking about all the stuff that's wrong with me, and then you go through what? If you're married, why are they with me? And no other kind of, obviously they saw something in you that you couldn't see yourself.
Yep.
Obviously. And
Yep.
so, yeah, you have to. You got to know at the end of the day you're special. And if you know you're special, then you're going to have a reason to take care of yourself.
Yes.
You're going to have a reason to. Why? Because I'm special.
Yeah.
I'm different, but I'm special.
That's right.
Everybody, you don't always fit in with everybody. When I'm in a group, there is a big difference. When I take a picture of my family,
Mm-hmm.
I used to feel like it was them and then there was me.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about because I'm so much better than them. I'm talking about I'm so much lesser than they are.
Mm.
Just the other day, my brother went to my foot doctor, and they were like, "Your brother was here and all that kind of stuff." And I used to feel like, because he's tall, really good looking, and all that kind of stuff, and I would always felt like I was lesser than.
Mm.
And now I say, yeah, he's the tall, good looking one. I'm the short, good looking one.
I know that's right.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, look, at least I can think so. So hey, that's enough for me.
Look,
That's enough for me.
right? And you found your good thing.
Yeah,
So,
that's enough for me. So
yes, yes. But absolutely, absolutely. And that's such a great point because I mean, we've all been there, right? Where we question our value. We question what we bring to the table. You and I have both been married to our spouses for a long time.
yes, ma'am.
And yeah, during varying times, I can relate to that experience of saying, "Oh my goodness, am I just here for my husband to take care of me? Like what
Yes,
right?
yes. I'm like, is this what we're doing? Really? Is this
Right,
really what we're doing? You
right.
know,
Yeah,
been there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
absolutely.
And it's like, why are you with me? You could be with somebody else.
Yeah, right. That
But I just told somebody the other day that yes, she could be with somebody, but I promise you, and it's only because, and one of the reasons why I feel this way, and I again just had this conversation, is because of the stuff I've had to go through.
mm-hmm.
And I say that to say nobody, she could find somebody who is able bodied and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I dare you to find somebody who love her more than I do.
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's because a lot of stuff I don't take for granted like a lot of other people do.
That's right.
I don't.
Right.
I appreciate you're here with me. I appreciate you got to climb, you got to do all this extra stuff for me. And I appreciate you because a lot of people, you do extra. Oh, that's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
No, they're not. No, they're
Right.
not. Unless you got them on payroll. No, they're not. And even when you got them on payroll, it's still not going to do right.
Right.
So again, you got to know in this journey
Yeah.
that you are special. You're different.
Yeah.
And even if you don't look different, I found this to be true. People who I know who have things going on the inside, cancer and all those other kind of things that are not, you don't see it, but
Right.
it's still mentally, it disturbs them to a point, and it makes them feel like they're less than or they're different or all this other kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because to me, it's more of a mental thing than it is a physical thing.
That's right.
It is. As I always remind you, if you keep your mind right, the rest of this will follow.
Mm.
But it starts with the mind. That's how you get through this stuff. If
Mm.
your mind is right, you'll pick the right kind of friends. If your mind is right, you will be able to get through a lot of your struggles. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to have struggles. This
Mm-hmm.
is actually one of the points I wanted to make. But everybody goes through stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through stuff, and you get to a point where you just want to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes through that. The problem is staying there. You
Mm.
can't stay there. Yeah, you can have. I used to always say again. I said this once before, but I used to have years and years and years and years, and went from years to months, from months to days, months. I mean, from days to hours, hours to minutes, and I mean being in that place where I was not valued, or I felt like because of what was wrong with me, I was in the garbage dump. I don't feel like that no more. I may feel like that from time to time, but it don't last long. It
Mm.
does not last long. And so you got to know again through the self preservation, as you said, you're special. You're just different. That's all. You're just different.
Yeah.
That's all. You're just different.
Yeah.
If you weren't, I believe, again, whatever situation you're going through, you did not catch God off his job. Whatever you're going through, He gave you everything you need on the inside. And think of it this way: if you planted a flower as a seed and it never rained, it would never grow.
Mm.
The more it rains, the more it grows.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I, and so when I'm going through stuff, I ask myself this question: where you gonna learn this time?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You know? And it's an ongoing, because for some, this is the way it is.
Yeah.
It ain't changing for some people. It's not. That's just being honest. It's
Yeah.
not going to change. So the question now is, how do I maneuver through this stuff?
Mm.
Since it's going to be this way, how do I maneuver through this stuff better?
Yeah.
How do I keep my mind right? How
Mm.
do I keep the right kind of people around me? And then one of the things too is, depending on what your physical issue is, having the right wellness team.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I'm very particular about who my doctors are.
That's right.
Very,
Can you
very.
tell me more about that?
Um, I just had an experience with. I've been having back pain forever and ever and ever,
Yeah.
and I had my knees replaced. Right. I had a pain doctor, but I was still having some issues.
Mm-hmm.
And he and I had a pretty good rapport going on. We talked whatever, and he listened to me.
Mm.
But the doctor I presently have now suggested I see his pain guy. I'm not saying any names. I'm
Mm.
gonna go see him, and you might recognize him before I do, and you've
Mm.
never seen him, because most time when I'm talking to him, he's doing this. He's looking down at
Mm.
what he's reading. No eye-to-eye contact. No listening to what my grievances are, how I feel.
Yeah.
Just, oh, I already know what to do, blah blah, and it never worked.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And I prefer to have, as I always say, and I tell my doctors this: all I want is a chance.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want. When I had my knees replaced, the therapist came in, didn't know me. And they came in and they said, "We want to know what your expectations are." I said, "Everybody look up." So everybody looked up. I said, "You see the ceiling?" She says, "Yes." I said, "Those are my expectations. I
Mm.
may not be able to reach them, but let's try to do it. At
Yeah.
least, at
Yeah.
least, at least try."
Yeah.
And those are my expectations. Anybody, and I've had it before. Well, it's written that we can do for you. You've got this. You got. I already know what I have, but because they chose not to try to go that extra mile,
Yeah.
I changed. I
Mm-hmm.
walked away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, all I want is a chance. And I've seen a lot of doctors that would not give me that chance.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with the walking thing, I'm on crutches now because of knee replacement,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had some other issues going on. But my goal is to walk.
Yeah.
So I found therapists who are on the same page as I am,
Hmm.
and not trying to put me in a wheelchair. Because for the longest, everybody's trying to put me in a wheelchair. I'm allergic. I'm allergic to wheelchairs. I
Hmm.
would get in the wheelchair when it's the last option that I have.
I
Yeah,
hear.
yeah, we can do that. But
Mhm.
as long as there are other options, let's see what they are. And
Yep.
trying is always an option. Trying is never not an option.
Absolutely.
And so that's
Ab-
why I say that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I went to go get, I'm having problems with foot ulcers. So I went to my brace guy who told me a long time ago, I'm going to do whatever I can to keep you on your feet.
Hmm.
We have that kind of relationship now. And again, having the right people.
Yep.
They care about you. Have people who care about you.
Yep. Yep.
I saw went to go see him, and even though my foot doctor has a very busy schedule, she took time out of her schedule to meet me at the brace place to see what options we had. She didn't have to do that.
Hmm.
She didn't have to do that. So be very mindful of who you have on your wellness team.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's something that we don't talk about very often in the chronic illness community in terms of being your own best self advocate, being in the center of your treatment team, and then the people on your team, they're consultants.
Yep.
They're consultants on your team. The way that I grew up was your doctor's word is bond, and I have reverence for doctors. They go through all the schooling, they do what they do, but they are not the expert over my life.
No man. Not even
Right?
close.
Not even close.
Not even close. Because again, I've gone to therapists and they were like, 3 times I could not walk. And
Mm,
my doctors basically said, you're done walking.
mm,
And I remember I went to my doctor and he said, well, this is wrong, that's wrong, this wrong, all this kind of stuff is wrong.
yeah.
And I said, I want you to do me a favor. He said, what's that? I said, I want you to send me to therapy. Because my doctor prior to him, I had to kick off my wellness team because he wouldn't send me to therapy. He
Mm,
told me going to therapy a waste of your time
mm, mm.
based on the prognosis. And
Wow.
that's why I always say I have spina bifida. You
Mhm.
cannot put you can't put everybody in the same box who has the same thing.
Yep.
Everybody's will is different.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
so I went to go see my doctor, orthopedist, and he said, you want to go to therapy? I said, yeah, I'm going to go to therapy. And I said, I'm going to make you a promise. And he said, what's that? I said, I'm going to come walking back into your office.
Mm,
And I did three
mm.
times.
Wow.
So if I did it 3 times before, what's to say I can't do it again?
That's right.
But I have a wellness team that is thinking the same way I am.
Yep.
If I
That's
had a wellness team that did not think the way I thought,
that's right.
I wouldn't be.
Yep.
I don't have the expertise that they have.
Yep.
So you got to have the right people on your team. I knew a guy, his wife had cancer, and they gave him all these bad diagnoses here.
Hmm.
He went on the internet and found another doctor in New York.
Oh,
He
wow.
took his wife to New York, and they said, we can help you.
Mm.
Never stop trying.
Wow. Wow.
Never stop trying.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. That's that's amazing. That's amazing. That's
Yep.
amazing. So, yeah.
Whenever I hear, well, we can't, oh, you're gone.
Right.
On to the next.
You got to get off my team.
Yeah, it took me 4 physicians, four separate, 4 separate surgeons for me to find one that was willing to do a knee replacement.
Mm.
And I honestly, and that's it goes back to having the right people on your team.
Hmm.
I almost gave up, and my wife could see it,
Yeah.
and she said, "I think you need to try one more." And so I said, "Okay, I'm going to try this." And what I was saying to myself was, I'm going to let her come with me so she can see what I have to deal with.
Mm,
And I went in there expecting that man to tell me we can't do anything.
mm,
Next thing I know, he said, "Well, you have the worst sneeze I've seen all month, but I can help you."
mm,
What would have happened if I had just given up and not gone? What would have happened if I didn't have the right motivation behind me to push me? You need people to help push you. You can sometimes you just can't push yourself. You need
mhm.
the right people to push you. And if and they may not be in your family.
Yeah.
I have, like you said, I have outside friends who are very helpful also.
Mhm.
So there, all these people are on your wellness team. They may not have PhDs, they may not have MDs, but they're all helping you go to the finish line,
That's right.
if you will.
That's right.
I mean, do all this talking because I want to hear you too.
Oh my goodness. Well, I always love hearing your insights and just dropping those nuggets because it adds to life. And I just really appreciate you being here with me. And this time just goes so fast when we
I
have these,
figured. I
right?
figured. I figured.
But I just want to capture what we talked about today, which was so good. I mean, we're really talking about how are we empowering ourselves in the midst of living with this chronic illness or chronic illnesses, because you and I both have multiple chronic illnesses, right? And
Yes. You're my motivation. How about that?
thank you, thank you, thank you. You say that, but I'm truly
I'm so serious. You can ask anybody. I would have never done this before you. I would have never done this. So
yeah.
yes. So go ahead.
And I'm glad you're doing it. I'm glad you're doing it. I love it so much. And just to be able to have these conversations, but us talking about, how do we stay empowered? And, I think we really talked about today, and we will continue this conversation in the future, but today, surrounding yourself with the right things and the right people is vital. We talked about reframing this narrative about being selfish to being self-preserving. It's
Yeah.
not selfish to be self-preserving, and self-preserving means you're going to look out for yourself and take care of yourself, do the things that you need to do in order to get through, not only survive, but to thrive, because we're not
Yes.
in the business of just existing. We want to live.
Not interested. I'm not interested in just living.
Yes, we
Just,
want
I mean, just existing.
existing. We want to live. We want to live. And then, you know, just practically having people on your wellness team who are on the same page as you. If they're not on that same page, like that doctor who was looking down at their notes and they didn't look up at you once,
I
you're
dropped them.
fired.
I dropped them. I
You're
dropped
fired, right?
them. I dropped them.
Right. And that's part of being self-preserving and self-loving as well. But empowerment, and I just want to make this clear, thriving doesn't mean never having disappointments. It
Oh, heck
doesn't
no.
mean that you don't have rough times. You just putting one foot in front of the other. And I always like to say, you want to take it day by day, moment by moment, but even breath by breath.
You have to. I mean, and I mean, interrupt, but I literally sometimes have to, even not today, but just in general, have
Yeah.
to push myself to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, what's the point?
Hmm.
But then once I start moving around, I find out what the point is.
Yeah.
You got to start. You can't just lay around all. You just can't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, I appreciate that. We always are able to, like, sort of talk about these things in a way that's just like plain and just reminds me also of things that sometimes I forget.
Mm,
Um, this was a good reminder to me. This week was kind of one of the tougher weeks.
yeah, I can tell.
Just with, yeah, I'm tired. I'm
Yeah.
tired. I am tired. But, but I enjoyed this time with you, Brother Darryl, because I just appreciate not only your contribution to the Epic Foundation, your contribution to my life, how
Look
much,
here. When you get tired, you pick your phone up.
Yeah.
Call me.
Yeah. Yeah. Lifelines. That's
Yeah,
important.
yeah. I'm always, hey, when I'm feeling certain, it depends on who it is.
Yeah.
Hey, there are certain people I call. Call me.
I will. I
Call
will.
me.
Well,
We all need help. Right quick, I wanted to give this quick definition. I saw this a long time ago somewhere, and I took a picture of it.
okay.
It's determination, and they define determination as it is the size of one's will which determines one's success.
Mm.
Yep. Because all my life I've been told what I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
Now I will not allow you to tell me what it is I'm not going to do. I'm
Yeah.
gonna show you what I can do. Now I may not be able to do it all,
Yeah.
but at least, like I said earlier, at least try.
Yeah.
I've heard so much bad news over the years that would just make me want to just go in a cave. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
That may have worked out for you.
Yeah.
I know you're smart. You went to school and all that kind of stuff, and they say all this about spina bifida, and I already know all this stuff, but that doesn't necessarily have to mean it has to happen for me.
That's right.
And until I leave here, we're gonna be pushing.
That's right. That's right.
I'm never gonna stop.
Never gonna stop. Never gonna stop. We remain empowered. We remain empowered for sure. Wow. What a beautiful time we had. I cannot believe
Yeah,
this time just flew by so
yes,
fast.
yes. I could talk about this stuff all day.
All day. Well, thank God we have many more dates with Darryl coming up. We plan to do at least once a month. To anyone out there who's listening live, and then of course this is going to go on our YouTube channel, Facebook channel. It's even on our LinkedIn. So I just feel so grateful that share it with your friends, share it with everyone. And by the way, in case you didn't see this big banner, we are celebrating our 8th-year anniversary
Yay!
for the Epic Foundation. Oh my goodness. I feel so blessed. I
You
feel so
just don't know how many people you have helped. Again, out of your own stresses and stuff, the stuff that you got. I call it foolishness. The foolishness we have to deal with. You took that foolishness and made it into something. You made it into something else,
thank
and I
you.
appreciate that for you. I appreciate that of you. I really do.
Thank you.
You're showing me I do have value.
Absolutely. You do. Yes.
Yeah. Look, even though I'm not a doctor, and you guys make me feel like I need to go back to school or something. But
No, no,
yeah,
no, 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 no.
I'm around all these smart people.
Well, we are in good company. Just the wisdom that you bring and the insights that you bring and the impact that you have. We're not going to sleep on that because I was trying to recruit you for a minute.
You
Don't
were,
you
and I kept
forget
saying
that?
no.
Years.
I appreciate that. I thank you for that. And the reason why you couldn't get me was because I thought I had no value.
Mm,
That was why I said no to you.
wow.
I was like, what a value do I have to say? And
Wow.
it took somebody on my team to tell me you got a lot to share. If it
Yes.
was not been had been for my team, you would have still been getting no's. I would
Wow.
have not changed my mind. That's why you got to surround yourself around people, the right people.
Yes.
People keep you grounded. When you, if you get too high, people
Yep.
bring you up. If you get too low,
Yep.
because I have people. If I get up, they'll tell me, no, you you gotta keep things realistic,
Yeah.
but you also have to deal with the realm of not being realistic. Because
Yeah.
again, walking for me is not realistic. But watch,
Hmm.
even though I know they say it's not, that's not real. I'm gonna make it real.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yes. 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 Well, thank that person from your wellness team, from me, for letting you know that you do have value, did have a lot to share, and you do have a lot to impart upon our community. And I'm just so grateful, so
You,
grateful. We're going to continue to do great things, right?
you already know who it is, so
Yeah, of course I do. Of
you already
course
know
I
who it is.
do.
You already
My
know who it
sister,
is.
my sister,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
sister.
yeah.
Um,
I am so glad.
yes.
I'm so. That's what's and right quick. When you stay in that space of not self-preservation and no value, you make really bad decisions.
Oh, you do. Yes.
But when I had a glimpse of what my life could really look like, that's when I made the decision. That's what I want in my life.
Mm,
Even though I thought, who would want me?
yeah.
Even though I thought I have nothing to share.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being with her, she's brought out so much of this stuff. But if had I made a bad decision and got with somebody else who only wanted me for money, we wouldn't. I would have never met you. We wouldn't be having this conversation. No telling what I'd be. It's no
Yeah.
telling where I'd be. So you got to surround yourself by good people.
That's right. That's right. And it's
You
no
got them too.
it's no secret that I love your wife, my sister Sonia. It's no secret at all. Y'all are my family. It was so
After
great
you
having
too.
this
You enjoy it too.
conversation. I know we're going to get back to doing the things of today, but I am so glad that we got a chance to spend this time together and that we got to spend our 8th year epic anniversary having this conversation.
And we're gonna have many, many more.
That's right. Many more.
We're gonna be. We're still young.
Yes.
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 Our
Ab-
circumstances, as I tell people, don't let it get you. You get it.
That's
And you
right.
and I are going to get it. We're not gonna let it get us.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So y'all out there, if you know anyone who wants to or needs this, needs encouragement, wants to know how to stay empowered, it's feel this week has been a heavy week for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Encourage them, share this, and remember together we are epic, okay? Thank you, Darryl. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
We'll see you
you.
the next time. We'll see all y'all the next time.
Love you, Laura.
Love y'all.
All
Bye.
right.